and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to show you the best and most affordable way to shoot high quality cinematic car rollers. So let's get started. To film those epic rollers you obviously need some gear. I've linked everything I used in the description. We all have seen expensive camera rigs or even people hanging out of the back of a car, but that's by far not the best way to do it. I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 instead. It gives you high quality results without breaking any traffic rules or putting yourself in danger. And you can even use it as a solo creator on a tight budget. In theory, you could use any other action camera as well. But the Osmo Pocket 3's tracking feature makes a huge difference and gives you way better shots than any stationary camera could get. Next, you will need something to mount the camera on your car. Depending on your budget, I would recommend either a shock absorber arm or just a simple suction cup. But no matter which one you pick, the Insta360 vibration dampener is a must-have. It removes almost all micro vibrations, giving you super smooth footage. If you want to see my full comparison between the shock absorber arm and the standard suction cup, check out my review on the SmallRig shock absorber arm. I tested both and gave my honest opinion. To get that natural motion blur, you will also need an ND plus CPL filter. I'm using this one from K&F. The ND is handling the exposure while the CPL cuts reflections. Together they give you the clean cinematic look which we are looking for. If you also want to do sound design, I would recommend the DJI Mic 2 because you can connect it directly to the Osmo Pocket 3. I still have the DJI Mic 1, but that's no problem since I can just sync the audio files later in post. Finally, you will need a phone with the DJI Mimo app installed to get a live feed, change settings and control tracking while driving. I would also recommend a phone mount if you plan on operating solo. So let's take a look at the camera settings. I'm filming in the highest possible resolution, 4K at 25 frames per second for the most natural and cinematic look. When it comes to exposure, make sure you switch to Pro and manual mode. Set the ISO range between 50 and 1600. This gives the camera some flexibility to adjust when lighting conditions change. For smooth motion blur, I stick to the 180-degree rule, which means your shutter speed should be double your frame rate. So at 25 frames per second, that's 1/50th shutter speed. Now let's talk about the exposure value. It basically tells the camera whether the image should come out darker or brighter. Since we gave the ISO a range, the camera will decide on its own how to expose within those limits. I personally set mine to plus 0.3 because I like the image just a little bit brighter. If you go outside with these settings, your image will be way too bright. That's where the ND filters come in. Pick one that gives you a proper exposure for your lighting conditions. For white balance, I usually just stick to auto, because while driving, lighting conditions change constantly. For quick results, just use the standard color profile. But if you want maximum flexibility for editing, shoot in D-Log like I do. Turn off glamour effects as well as breathing compensation. And make sure the focus mode is set to continuous. If you want to switch between vertical and horizontally, just turn the monitor and confirm. So let's head outside and mount the setup. Clean the mounting area with a towel so the suction cup sticks securely. With the shock absorber setup, I got the best results mounting it upside down with the Insta360 dampener attached to it. With the standard suction cup setup, I just like to keep it upright. I always add a safety wire that runs inside the car. I've never had a mount fail on me, but let's just better be safe. Now connect your camera to your phone for a bigger live view. As you can see right now, the image is way too bright with the settings I told you earlier. Therefore, add a ND filter to keep the right exposure. A good way to check is to see if your exposure value still reads plus 0.3 in the brightest conditions with the ISO near to low end. That way, when you go through tunnels or shadows, the camera can push the ISO higher without overexposing in bright runs. Now, park the car you want to film right behind the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and rotate the CPL until the reflections disappear. Don't forget to mount the mic if you want to have audio as well. Usually somewhere near the license plate or inside the engine bay sound the best. Perfect, now we are ready to start filming. Make sure your phone is connected to the Osmo Pocket 3 and mount it somewhere where you can see it while driving. Preferably, you want to have a second person which can just focus on driving while you look at the screen. If you are two people, make sure to sit in the backseat of the car, because when you are driving at high speeds, the Wi-Fi connection sometimes has problems on further distances. But that's usually no problem, because the tracking of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 keeps going, even when the connection fails. I always stay on a call with the other driver, so that I can tell them exactly where to be. Usually, the car needs to be slightly closer than normal, but never make them come too close to prevent accidents. Once the car is in position, draw a box around it on the screen to start tracking. The tracking works so well, you can focus entirely on driving and giving directions. Highways are ideal for filming, because there's no oncoming traffic. a separate lane for every car, which means you can get closer without any danger, and you can both maintain a steady speed. Faster speeds give you more motion blur, which looks even more cinematic. I would always recommend to film the car from an angle, because it just looks better than a straight front view. You can do lane switching shots, drive-bys, or even film 2 cars at once. After you finished filming, just edit the video to your liking, and don't forget to use the official DJI D-Log M to Rec 709 transformation lab to get back those colors if you filmed in D-Log like I did. And that's it. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more filmmaking tips, and check out the links in the description for the products I used. See you in the next one. Bye.